What's up, guys? This is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and today I've got a video with a hero that I haven't played for about a year. It's that long, and with more than 100 heroes, I think you can totally understand that this is kind of my reality. I just can't feature heroes once in a while because there are too many, and I want to bring them all to you. And therefore you guys had to wait about a year to see Cresht in action again. And here we are with a short and lovely gameplay. We are going to perform quite good. I just checked out the stats because I have played the game a couple of days ago. And first of all, as always, I want to go through my equipment with you guys so that you know what I'm going to bring to the upcoming gameplay on the battlefield. That said, as Cresht is a tank, of course we are going to maximize his tank power, and as you can see we are building all the lovely tanks items here. So as I'm playing support, we've got the support item here. Of course you need to adopt it to the enemy team composition. So when you need cleansing, it's cleansing. When you need to have a barrier for some extra shielding, it's the shield. And you guys will know what to do, but I'm going to tell what my thoughts were in the upcoming gameplay anyways. The rest of it is basically a good balance between attack damage reduction items on the one hand and some mage resistance items on the other hand. I have picked the Gaia standard here, but if you happen to have a lot of crazy burst damage coming from the mages, you should of course take the Medallion of Troy and so on and so forth. It's basically adopting to the enemy team composition because that is your main goal. Kind-of-wise, I'm using my AD tank build. Regular viewers on this channel will already know what I'm going to talk about. This is 10 times Indomitable for some armor and max HP. Attack speed, it's okay on him, but we don't really need it. The second Arcana, of course, level 3 again 10 times is Benevolence. I'm taking it for the max HP and the movement speed, and I like to have Skewer on the last item. Otherwise you're going to take Valence to max your HP boost even further, but in this case it actually makes sense because as soon as you get into the ultimate form, when you are to kind of like transition yourself into this shark type of thing, Skewer makes actually sense because then is the time when you start to deal damage. So I think while it's not really suitable on most of the tanks and it's actually quite discussionable, I think on this tank it is well needed and it does make sense and there will be no discussion at all. Enchantment wise, I'm going to continue my tank theme. You see the Explosive Shield as my core enchantment. We're using the Tower Blessing here for some additional resistance and damage reduction when I'm close under a tower from our side or the opponent's side. This enchantment works for both types of towers. Of course, then we're taking Nature's Gift to boost our health even further, and then we're going with Devour and Bone Cutter because Bone Cutter stacks quite nicely with Gilded Greaves, and Devour is your bread and butter because you're going to get some health back and some mana, 9% and 15% when you are going to kill something or you are assisting in a kill. So that is my layout. If you like this kind of content and you haven't subscribed to the channel, now is the chance to do so. Hit the subscription button and put on the notification bell to never miss any of my videos after that. And of course, likes and comments are highly appreciated, so use the comment section below to share your thoughts with me. And without further ado, let's hop right into the gameplay. Let's go. Alright, here we are in the actual action. Talking about action, we have Telenos with me on the dual lane. Pretty good AD carry at the moment in the current meta. We've got Tara on the solo lane. I have just played a really good game with her, so she's got great potential if the player knows what he or she is doing. We've got Zephyr's in the jungle, and I hope you guys checked out my Zephyr's jungle video. It's ace. It's in German, but it was so good because I think he is one of the most underrated junglers out there in the game. He's really strong, but I don't really see him that often. So I was really happy to have him with us because he has a really good performance in the game currently. We've got Azenkar in the mid lane, and as you can see, he did a really good job on just getting a gank here. Unfortunately, Telenas was on the way back under the tower, and therefore she wasn't able to get into the offensive mode that quickly, because otherwise I think that would have been at least one dead Valheim. And talking about team compositions, as you can see, we have Natalia in the mid lane for the opponent, so a really strong mid laner with great damage potential. They've got Sinestria in the jungle, who is also a really good jungler, but I think most of the people don't really know how to play with her. We've got Butterfly as some sort of off hybrid tank at the solo lane. I don't really think that this is going to be maximizing her potential. She is a jungler, and that's the way you should treat her. And then we've got Malok here as a hybrid tank support, which can work out quite nicely. I'm really glad that we have seen some kind of opening in terms of team compositions, because that was really blend beforehand. It was basically, if you want to take a support, then use a support, take Cresht, take RoV, take something like this. But the meta has changed a little bit, so nowadays Wonder Woman is one of the top supports right now, and she's not really a traditional support, but I really think that this kind of opening has just made the game a little bit more entertaining, because nowadays there are a lot of characters that you can actually play as a support, and they are going to bring great value to the game, which is actually quite nice. So just transformed into my super crazy tank shark, whatever form, tentacle thing, and I am bursting down things so crazily in this form. But unfortunately, as the enemy team was just hiding under the tower, I did not really get the full potential of it, but we're going to get to this point in a couple of minutes. The overall score is going to be quite offensively, just by the numbers that I have just taken from the last bit of this battle. And I think Cresht makes really up for this kind of numbness at the early stages. I mean, you are basically, in this form, in your regular form, you're basically like a babysitter that can push enemies away and get some shielding on your most valuable or your most squishy targets, which is actually not that fun to do. I mean, you are just doing one thing, like you're basically a one-trick pony, and I don't really think that this is super crazy. But here we got the first kill. I need to get back to cover, and afterwards I just made another entrance. I was thinking that my form was running out anyway, so I didn't really push Valheim too hard, but you can see the great potential of this ultimate. I mean, your ultimate is basically changing your playstyle completely, and this is a good thing, like because I don't really enjoy Cresht in his regular form. It's just not my kind of playstyle. I don't really know why you've got this knife or axe attack where you are pushing away enemies. It just doesn't make any sense at all, because it just means that you are going to make your AD carries and your mage's life a little bit more difficult. But all in all, you are a babysitter slash protector, and that's how you play him. So here we go again, ultimate form, and as soon as this turns out, you see how enemies are just kind of pulling back. They know that you are going to be crazy all over the place. You've got this great shield that is just basically doubling your health bar, so this is really nice. And after the form has run out, your duty is to protect your valuable characters afterwards. But it just means that you can play him quite aggressively, and I think that is the way that Cresht needs to be played, pushing enemies away from your damage dealers and being there when someone needs an ultimate, and it's just going to bring havoc onto the enemies. I mean, it's just one of the heroes that I don't really like at all in terms of the playstyle. It's just not fitting to the way I like to play. I like to play my heroes aggressively, and in the regular form that's not really suitable because you're actually quite squishy in terms of a tank. I mean, yes, you're still a tank, but you don't really have the means. But as soon as you can come to this form, things are starting to change drastically, and you've got all the time in the world to put everything into the enemies. So this is the first kill, and here we go with a double kill, and I think that was a beautiful initiation done by me. And I think that the enemies completely underestimated the pure force that Cresht is bringing to the table. And he is a force to reckon with. Like, he's actually a really decent tank. But I think most of the people just underestimate him because most of the times you're just going to play him in the old form. And that is when he becomes kind of good for the enemy for your own team. Just not my kind of playstyle. Because at this point, we're just getting shields somewhere. So I was running straight into them because I knew that I had my ult form ready, and now I'm pushing everyone back. Sinestro did a good job on using her ultimate offensively, because it just gave her the potential to push me away because my health was just crippled. But now is the time to go back and hand out some shields again. And I think my team did a really good job in this team fight. And we have been able to get 10-8 out of this in total. And we are still on the push. And I think that's actually quite valuable. And here we go with another kill from our Zephyrs. As I said, he is one of the most underrated carries out there in the game. If you look upon the jungle, using my skills here in order to get these pesky bastards here to get some gold. But look at that. The clearing speed is just incredibly slow, and it's not your role, but sometimes you need to do it, and you can't really fill that role properly, and that's a sad thing to do. So what's great about Cresht is I'm again in my ultimate state. So that means that I can just push her away here. Unfortunately, I have used my second skill, and if you have used it in your first form or your regular form, it means that it's still on cooldown when you transform it. I think that's just fair. Yes, otherwise it will be quite imbalanced if you can jump into it with your S2, transform into your ultimate form, and then use your S2 again when you are giant crashed. Still, it's not cool. Everything would just be a little bit better if it was possible to use it twice, but yeah, the game designers did not want us to do this, and therefore we've got to wait for it. Here we go again, and as you can see, we are just bringing so much damage and tankiness to the table. It's not even funny anymore. The shield is still there. They just can't grind through if they don't commit massive forces to it, and I think my team did a really good job on calling things here. So far we have just made way for the basic last push. Telenas and I are going to deal with that Darkslayer. She's doing the damage, I'm doing the tanky stuff here, and now my team has realized, oh my goodness, they are doing things to this kind of Slayer, so we might be involved. That's a good thing, and we just solved it. And now it's 13-8. We've got the Slayer. Enemies are just pushing down into the dual lane at the bottom, but I think it is the wrong decision to put any forces down here because we are here to get this tower, and we mean it. So here we go, tower, 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 tower. I'm taking it all by myself because it's just possible. That's how crazy you are. You can take several tower shots in this form without any minions, and just with the forces of Tara, I was able to get the tower with her in the cooperation here. And this is the next tower that we're going to get. So things are actually looking quite bright. If you take a look at the map and you check it out, we have the middle lane still standing completely. I think they didn't even do 1 point of damage to the middle tower. So that's actually quite crazy. And now's the time to go in and just harass them, because it gives my team the chance to go into this fighting position. Sinestria has been killed by me after she has just used her ultimate on me to get back some life, and now is the time to push this guy away, and he's going to be dead in the meantime. So I think we used every single bit that we had in our kit in order to take the advantage, and I think it went really, really well. So despite the fact that I don't really like Cresht as a hero, I think he has been of great use in this fight here. And as you can see, we're just whittling down this thing without any minions, and the game is done. So Cresht is a great character to play if you got, for example, Telenas with you, accompanying you, because she's got a lot of great range tools in order to take the enemies. And this was a ranked match, so I'm really glad with that. Telenas has even become the silver marksman medal with the MVP, and I think 11.8 is something that you can write home about. About 1/3 of the total damage has been inflicted on me. Great fight participation on Telenas. I think we also did a good job supporting her in order to be of the most value to our team. So this was my Cresht game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for other games to come. Bye bye, and so on and so forth.